Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining the channel today. I'm Dane, your host of the Rock and Metal Guardian. Hope you're doing well. Today is my 5th episode in my new mini-series called Back to Back, the greatest album pairs of all time. Before we dive into today's artist or band, I will give you this though. They are British, so it's a band, and I want to go over yet again the qualifications in case you're new to this mini-series. What does it take for you to be in the category of the greatest pairs of all time? Here they are. 1, they have to be back to back in the discography chronologically. 2, they have to complement one another, or another way of saying that is their companion albums. The next one is the second one in the pair must pick up in many ways where the previous one left off. And then that's a nice way of saying 5 or 6, that they could have been a double album. And then they must be also seminal works. There's no ranking or order here. It's just I'm presenting them as I feel fit to do. So let's go ahead and get started. Today's band is Queen, one of my favorite bands of all time, definitely top 30. And the 2 albums that I'm thinking of are Night at the Opera and The Day at the Races. So let's start with The Night at the Opera. And of course, if you look at the album covers, you have the swan, the crab, the 2 Virgos, or rather the 2 lions, and I think a Virgo. So you have, well, I'm not quite sure about that. Anyway, you have their horoscope symbols, right? And A Night at the Opera is ironic cover-wise because it's a white album cover, not dark, thinking nighttime, right? And then A Day at the Races, similar logo. It's a little different in the drawings, but it's the same horoscopes, symbols, and it's the basic color of the background is black. So A Day at the Races, but so you would think that, at least to and I always thought about this when I first saw them as a kid, because my mom gave these to me quite young. She's the one who introduced me to Queen. And so I always thought, shouldn't A Day at the Races be white and A Night at the Opera be black? But anyway, that's just a minor thing. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's talk about A Night at the Opera. The opening song is Death on Two Legs, and this shares much in common with Black Sabbath's From a Why Was It Written sort of thing, not musically. It shares in common with Black Sabbath's song The Writ, because both songs are dealing with the anger and angst of the band members towards their manager for screwing them out of some money. In this case with Queen, it is, so the story goes, Norman Sheffield, who was at Trident Studios, who according to the band, and who knows what really happened, but you can hear the angst in both Freddie Mercury's voice here, and of course on Ozzy's, on Sabotage in Ozzy's voice as well. But sticking to this album, this song Death on Two Legs is one of their heavier songs. Again, you hear the anger in Freddie's voice. There's that foreboding intro, right? And then that heavy intro, the 2 things here. There's this foreboding kind of sound that leads into the heavy intro is what I meant. And then you have some nice piano, and May has a great guitar solo. Mercury's voice is back and forth between that angry voice and then that high-pitched register that we know and love. And it's a fun song despite the fact that it's written because of that anger and that angst on the band's part. But I love it. Again, one of my favorite songs of all time by the band. Next, you have Lazing on a Sunday Afternoon. This is a very vaudeville type Al Jolson homage, if you will. It's not a song I care about much at all. For me, this song is a big no. I don't like it. I've never been much of a fan of the vaudeville, ragtime, camp, cabaret stuff that Freddie likes to do, right? So the story goes that after Freddie's passing, they found his album collection on vinyl, and 2 of the things that stood out were he had a copy of Who's Tommy, and of course Liza Minnelli's Cabaret. So definitely influenced by that cabaret sound or vaudeville, whatever. Just not my cup of tea. So this is a song I will often skip most of the time, if not all the time. Next is a song I really love. Here we have Roger Taylor on vocals. Yeah, I'm talking about I'm in Love with My Car. And his vocals are obviously different from Freddie's. and yet there's something compelling about them. There's something moving about it. There's something that sways you. You get involved, right? Just many times you're thinking to yourself, at least, I'm sorry, I don't want to speak for others, but for me, I'm thinking to myself, boy, it'd be great if they put out some double albums where you had a little bit more of Roger on vocals. But of course, Freddie is the obvious frontman. Okay, so, and it's a song about driving, and I love songs about driving. There's a lot of those, right? Next is You're My Best Friend. And as I've gotten older, this is a song I will often skip more than not. This is a song I used to love, but now I think it's overplayed. And I oftentimes I find myself, when I play the album, start to finish, I'll skip it. And I'll start it and go, yeah, I don't want to hear it. And again, it's overplayed. I think it's a novelty song. And lastly, from my younger days growing up, listening to the radio back when we had DJs, this was a song people would call up for the dedication hour, where the DJ would take requests, so people would call in and dedicate. And this was, of course, that's why it's a novelty song. Just maybe that's why the song was written. I don't know, but just something I skip. Next is a song you just love, and that's 39. Here we have a nice acoustic opening, and Brian May is on vocals. Not too many songs with him. I think there are 2 or 3 in the whole catalog where he sings, correct me if I'm wrong. And his voice is phenomenal. You got a great acoustic song here. The voice, as I said, is great. And in addition to May being the front man here, you have some nice vocals from Mercury and Taylor in the background. Those harmonies are just phenomenal, and they work so well with Brian May as the front man here. I really love it when bands have more than one singer in the band. It's like back in the day when I was a Bon Jovi fan, and I'm not anymore. I would love to hear. I would love it. I thought to myself as a 15 and 6-year-old, if Sambora would sing more, right? Those solo albums that he has are okay, but he has a great voice. And so we get Taylor and we get May on this. Think Kiss, right? All 4 members sing, and there are other bands like that. The Beatles, right? So I really like this nice treat from May here on the 5th song, 39. And then the next song is one of my favorite from the whole band, from the band overall, and that is Sweet Lady. It's nice heavy guitar. It's a heavy song for the most part, and the heavy guitar from May matches Mercury's phrasing quite nicely, and just one of my favorites. Next is Seaside Rendezvous. This is more that vaudeville, ragtime, whatever you want to call it, camp, what's the other word I use? Cabaret. There are other terms been used. There's some differences there, but overall, again, not my cup of tea. This is a song I pass on all the time. Next, number 8 is the Prophet song. I love this song. This is the Queen I know and love so much. That's that light and shade that they use. The chorus is great. There's this back and forth between light and shade, and then there's that dramatic piece where Freddie and the boys are singing around, and you get that now I know, and you hear some more singing underneath that. Again, it's done in a round. It's just great, and it repeats itself. It's a little long, but I like it. It works. So it's operatic at times. I love it, and this is just a great guitar here. The solo is exquisite. Next is Love of My Life. This is a slow song, not my favorite, but the vocals from Freddie here are just phenomenal. There's a theme of telling the person speaking, Freddie, maybe taking the role of a protagonist, or it's personal, telling the person he's speaking to that he still loves them. It's just great. I love that. And May's quasi-fluttery guitar is just so nice. And there's some great piano in this piece as well. Just a great, great song. Next is another vaudeville ragtime type song, Good Company. This is a hard pass as well. And then next, of course, is the song that we know so well from this, and that is Bohemian Rhapsody. It's brilliant. This for me never gets old. There's that slow build up to getting heavy. It's there. And I'm not the first person to say this. This is their Stairway to Heaven in that sense that you go from that slow build up to that heavy piece at the end. It's a mini rock opera. It works so well. Who would have thought, right, when this first came out, that it would work? And it does. And for me personally, the vocals are just great. To quote Spinal Tap, it goes up to 11, goes up to 12 even, right? Never gets old, as I said. And then finally, you get God Save the Queen. It's short and sweet. Not a great song, but I appreciate it for what it is. It's very English, and as a big fan of English lit and English history, because I teach both, and my favorite bands of all time are mostly British or English, or from the United Kingdom, Scotland, you have Nazareth, and Wales, you have, Budgie. I just love the culture of England. So I like the song. It's a little short, but is it their best? No, but I appreciate for what it is. However, I will say this. I think this album would have been better if Bohemian Rhapsody ended it and this came before it or somewhere else in the track listing. But it is what it is. It's a worthwhile song to have. So, all right. Next is A Day at the Races. And of course, the hit song on here, there are a couple, but the first one is Tie Your Mother Down. You have a gong intro, so unlike Bohemian Rhapsody where it ends with a gong, this one opens with a gong. See, here's something, right? If part of this series is, you can play these as a double album. Imagine if you put God Save the Queen on the previous album in front of Bohemian Rhapsody, as I mentioned, have Bohemian Rhapsody and ends with a gong, and then it segues into this, which starts with a gong. So there's that connection, right? Anyway, Past on What Could Have Been, just me thinking out loud, kind of. So you have the gong intro, then the slow soundscapey feel that builds up to the heavy guitar, which is just great. Heavy metal, anyone? This is a quasi, if not a full-blown heavy metal song in my estimation. For the longest time when my mom gave me this, very young, when it first came out, this is the only song on the album I would play, but then I warmed up to the rest of the stuff gradually. It is a phenomenal album for the most part. Then song number 2, I meant to say that Freddie Mercury's vocals, as always, are great, and you can tell he's having fun singing the song. Number 2, You Take My Breath Away, great vocals. The piano is wonderful. It's a bit slow, and sometimes I will pass on the song or rather skip it. But I do like it. You got to be in the right mood for it. But despite that, it's a very good song. All right. Next is Long Away. This is an underrated gem. It's very melancholy, but you have some great harmonies here. I just love it. Next is The Millionaire Waltz. As a kid, I did not appreciate this song, but this is one of my favorite songs by them. It's underrated. I think you have the slow build up, the light and shade going on. It's phenomenal. So at first you have the slow build up from light to shade, but then there's that back and forth. So you get the best of both worlds. Because some songs, when you talk, I did a couple of videos on this. Some songs are just slow build up, then the rest is heavy. Some bounce back and forth. You get both here. So, and that's what one of the things I like about the song. And you get some great piano layered in with May's guitar. So that's what makes this piece. And the ending is really heavy. I love it. And then you get the song number 5, You and I. It's an upbeat, fun song. You can tap your feet to it. You have some great you have some great harmonies here, and some great layering with those harmonies. And the solo from May is fabulous. All right. I love this. I love these two albums for the most part. As I said, a few songs I don't like, but overall it's fabulous. Next is Somebody to Love. This is a song a lot of people talk about. It's gotten old. They play it too much. I never get tired of the song, but I don't listen to the radio, so that's why, perhaps. It's sort of similar to Bohemian Rhapsody because it has an opera-like feel to it. It's very theatrical. And then the vocals and the background harmonies, once again, are just amazing. Then you get one of their heavier songs, and that is the song White Man. And I think it's underrated. You have, as I said, it's a great heavy song. It's one of my favorites. The chorus is fabulous. I can't say enough good things about the song. I think a lot of people skip the song, people I talk to when it comes to this album, but I love it. Next is Good Old Fashioned Lover Boy, another vaudeville / ragtime cabaret song, whatever you want to camp maybe. I don't care for this. Next is Drowse, number 9. This is a song I used to skip as a boy. Roger Taylor back on vocals. Not one of my favorites, but I've warmed up to this in my old age, if you will. It's okay. It's better than the previous song, Good Old Fashioned Lover Boy. Have to be in the right mood. Finally, Teo Toriet, if I'm pronouncing that right, in parentheses, Let Us Cling Together. This is also a song as a boy I could not stand, but I warmed up in my 30s, and now I appreciate it even more in my soon-to-be late 50s. You got this piano intro that is moving, as is Freddie's vocals. They work so well together. The song is very moving emotionally. It's melancholy but amazing. And it ends with like a soundscape feel to it, kind of like a movie soundtrack feel. But I love it. So there you have it, everybody. These are two of the greatest albums of all time in rock history. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a blessed day. And I will have for you another video tomorrow. Take care now. Bye.